welcome to another video. So this one is going to be slightly different. So every now and again a modder will bring out a mod that is a huge game changer, we'll say, and that's exactly what's happened here. So a modder has brought out something called mining layers. Now to the ordinary farmer of Farm Sim it won't mean a great deal, but for those of us that gold mine, it's huge. This mod could be a massive change to the way we mine gold, diamonds or whatnot, coal, stones, and so on and so forth. So this mod is called Mining Layers for FS25. It was made by a very clever modder. I will put his name in the comments for you to see. So Mining Layers, you probably all think to yourself, well, that sounds pretty obvious what it's about. So it is fairly obvious. Instead of just being able to turn up a cut and telling Terrafarm what we're going to dig, you actually have to dig through layers. Now you still need to use Terrafarm alongside because it won't work without. Alright, so if we push escape, now we'll have a quick scroll down and read through. So this is the symbol you're looking for, this one right here. This is mining layers. And basically it's going to separate out the individual layers of the map. So when you start digging, you have to dig through your topsoil or your overburden, gravel, down into your pay dirt. And eventually right at the bottom we'll have rocks, which means you can't dig any further. The readout on the left, which I'll show in a minute in game, will tell you how deep you're in that layer and how far to the next layer, and so on and so forth. There you go. See, so this is a layer setup. So it will tell you dirt 0 to 2 meters, gravel 2 to 6 meters, pay dirt 6 to 12 meters, and stone 12 meters. As far as I'm aware, the stone is a bedrock, but don't quote me on that. I've not actually tried playing with this much, so bear with. We still have to use the polygon area for Terraform. If you don't use it, it doesn't work. If you change anything in the selections, which I'll talk to you about again in a minute, it won't work. As for depth, I'm not 100% sure you can change the depth of it or not. That's something we're going to fiddle with in a minute. You can use bulldozers to dig your way down through as well as diggers. And yeah, I mean, like I said, it's a game changer. It's huge. There's the guy here, look, Mining Layers by Tommy Honnold and Fritz Plays Project. It's fabulous. I mean, it's still in test phase now. It's still being tested, but so far, I think it's fantastic. So here are your settings. Soil cannot be dumped back onto the ground on this map. Digging, hauling, and selling all work as usual. The cause is a limit of 63 terrain materials in your mod list, not this mod. Blah 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 blah. So the bright outline marks the layer you are editing. The pay seam is the fixed last rain material selectable pay dirt by default. Coal or limestone work to. Thickness and position fixed. The rock below goes in on its own. Minimum thickness of 1 mil for the top layer. 1 meter, sorry, not mil. 1.5 for every layer below. Yeah, so the top layer it can only be a minimum of 1 meter. All right, again, not the end of the world, right? So applies to, and you got all areas, mining layers, and then you got soil. And obviously we can't use soil here, so that would have to be changed to something else, like gravel, for instance. Okay, so gravel. 2 meters, you can make it 1.5, even 1 meter thick. Yeah, and then you click on the next one. No. Oh, there we go. The next one down. So there are 2. Sand. Maximum thickness of 1.5, or minimum thickness, sorry, 1.5, not maximum. 1.5. That leaves you a huge chunk of pay dirt right there. Yeah, absolutely fabulous. Click save. That's it, done. Don't have to touch it again. Okay, that easy. Really straightforward to set up. But if you jump in your digger like this and push O, you'll see that nothing's changed on this side of Start again, Rob. Nothing's changed on the Terraform HUD on the right hand side, so I can literally just dig away and it will dig up stones. Yeah, that's all it is, stones, literally. Yeah, it's done nothing for us whatsoever. Okay, and the texture it's dropping will discharge as moss thing. So it's literally copying what I've told it to copy there. Okay, so when I come back out of that, we'll leave the digger running in the background, and we'll go into the Terraform menu. Obviously the bucket and the dozer both work. Landscaping areas. You're going to create a new area. Polygon. Click accept. This is the only way you're going to get this to work. So we'll put in here cut one, for instance, and enter. Enter the edit mode. We're going to put in a little square. There, there, and there. Okay, and then we're going to obviously cancel the next one. Exit edit mode. So it says there 109.77. Now I've not actually tried this and whether you can change the depth and only dig a certain depth. So I'm going to try that now to see whether it actually changes anything to do with the layers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go 108.77 because that was supposed to be the depth of the stone on top. Okay, and we're going to save. This little thing pops up next to the cut or the mine that you put in. All right, we can exit out of that. Yeah, see it saved. Okay. Now we're going to jump back into our digger. Oh no, we're still in our digger. I'll stop digging. Put the bucket up there a minute, out of the way. So we're going to find our cut, or cut one, wherever it's to. Right, it's right here. Yeah, you can see it right here. Next, to just look for the stone. Right, so we're at the cut, or we're in the cut. Oh, hang on. That's just 395. The lights have a mind, it was saying. Right, so I now need to assign this cut to this digger for it to work. Okay, so we're going to go into Y. We're not going to change anything at all, apart from these, as per usual. So you know what my best ones are: 1.25 and 1.00. I'm not going to change any of the textures whatsoever. I'm going to click on the square. I'm going to select cut one and click select and back out. Okay, so now the digger's activated, the cut's activated, everything's activated to the digger. So we're going to push O, switch on Terraform, and we're going to dig stones. Okay. Or gravel, as I put it. So we'll pile the gravel up. So you can see now that the gravel becomes part of the land, so it's just going to raise. So we can change that to materials. Still, I haven't changed the textures or anything. All I've done is change it to material. And we're going to dig away again. And we now have sand. Because that was the next layer down. And it's now material, so we can material out the sand, yeah? But what we can't do is mix the two together. Alright, so you can only have gravel or sand. If you put them both together, it will only remember the last one. We're pulling up sand. I just want to see whether we actually have depth on dig or not, which I believe we do. So if I go backwards, I'll tell you what, just turn off the collisions on the bucket. So as you can see, all we're digging up now is sand. So we've taken off the top of the gravel, sorry, and all that's being picked up now is sand. But if you see, as I go through the stone, all I'm picking up is sand. So it can't differentiate the difference. So you need to keep the materials separate. If you're loading them into a truck, then that's ideal. But if you're loading them onto the floor like I just have and you mix them together, the mod is not going to know any different. Okay? So a note to oneself there is to make sure that you keep the materials separate. Now, the reason I've done it like this is because I want to see whether we can actually dig out layers without over accentuating into the following layer. Because obviously if you can mix materials, you can end up digging through pay dirt and wasting pay dirt. See, so that's gravel I've just picked up there. So we'll chuck that down this side. But everybody following so far, yeah, it's pretty straightforward. So I went down a meter there, and technically speaking I should have stayed in gravel, but it has dug up the sand. So what we'll do now is we'll go back into saving. I do apologise. We'll go back into the Terraform menu, and I'll change the depth a bit more, and we'll see what comes up next. So we'll go 107.77, enter, save changes, and exit. Right, so what's next? We say. So it's still saying sand right now, which is fine. But I got a feeling that's stone there. Or is it pay dirt? It could be pay dirt. Could be pay dirt. It looks like pay dirt to me, but it also looks like stone. So at the moment we're still digging out sand. A lot of it is remembering how deep you set the layers, or how you set the layers up. I mean, I remember this 1.5, and we've only gone down a meter, so technically speaking, it should all be just sand. Let's just drive through the hole and out the other side, and clear up the other side. But this mod could be, well, I know it's not could be, it is superb. For anybody that likes mining, this is the next big thing. But you can see here, I'm sticking to the levels. There's no digging outside. We're in the box. And that is literally how easy it is. All we're doing is digging. But for those that like playing role play and, you know, talking about overburden and so on and so forth, this was going to make the game. This is going to make those videos for the streamers. It's incredible. I shall be using it for sure. Not in the video I'm doing, in the stream I'm doing right now, but it'll be in the next one, because I believe that this is the next big thing. But you can see I'm digging out sand. I know the texture is a bit all over the place in the bottom of the pit, but I believe that is pay dirt next, and there's a huge chunk of pay dirt to come out of this hole. But I am well impressed with how well this has been done. Right, so what we'll do now is we're going to add a bit deeper and see if we can't find some pay dirt in this hole. So we're going to push escape. Back to the Terraform menu, click on the cut. And we're going to go down, so we're going to go down to 106. Now that should put me in the pay dirt quite comfortably. Save changes. Exit. Back. There's more gravel. Don't understand why there's more gravel, but there is. And there's more sand. But you can see how well this works. This is incredible to be able to dig sand and gravel from the same hole. It's just is insane. You know, never used to be able to unless you actually change the settings. And you can also see I've not touched the Terraform HUD at all. Although I have lost the layers HUD, and I'm not quite sure why. Perhaps I can't go changing. Let's have another one a minute and just try something different. Let's call this cut 2. Because we should have been well within our pay dirt range, and we're not, which says to me that I've done something wrong. Perhaps we can't mess about with the depths as such, which would be about right for me. You know, I like to mess things up. I just assumed it was still good because obviously nothing had changed. And we managed to get gravel out of there and sand out of there, but it's still digging as it was. But we've lost the HUD, and I'm not quite sure why. So we're going to push Y on our machine, select the cut, cut to, select, and whack. And I'm going to turn the digger. Look at that way. Oh my god, I'm going to go back in the hole in a minute. Terraform material sand has no effect here, the layer decides depth. Okay, so sand is no good. Alright, so we're going to have to click escape. So we have to go to materials, or the layer, sorry. So the sand is no good. So we can't use sand. So layer 2, or say stone. That works for me. Okay, and click save. Click OK. Click back. Right, so now, without setting the depths, if we go in here, there's a stone. Like I said, this is still in test phase, so but that there is pay dirt. So you can see that I've taken gravel out of the holder and now we're digging pay dirt. Just like that. And we're back to digging stone. So there is pay dirt here. That's stone. And then it's pay dirt. See? So it is going to be, when it's actually spot on, it's going to be an awesome mod. I mean, I think it's great already. To be able to distinguish between the two is incredible. You know, 1 second we're digging stone, then the next minute we're digging pay dirt. It's fabulous. What a mod. So yeah, that's it pretty much in a nutshell. Like I said, it's still in testing. It's still in testing. It's still being worked upon. I believe it's going to be a great mod. It just needs a bit of tweaking here and there, and for us to understand how to use it. But I think it's going to be an incredible mod. I really do. Like I said, it's still in testing. They're still working on it. But to be able to dig pay dirt and stone from the same hole without changing any settings whatsoever is a win-win in my book. So that's it. I will check back in with you when it's up and running properly. I think we'll do another video on it. But I intend on using this mod. And well done to the guys that made it. I think it's incredible. There's obviously a few tweaks that need tweaking, but other than that, yeah. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.